I'll tell you this, I am convinced.
Utterly unconvincing.
Republican and Democratic lawmakers were mostly divided on Wednesday, following briefings with Trump administration officials who said an imminent threat had justified President Donald Trump's order to kill top Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. Congressional Democrats were not convinced.
Incredibly thin on facts.
A far cry from meeting a standard of imminent threat.
We did not get information inside that briefing that there was a specific imminent threat that we were halting through the operation conducted last Thursday night.
Many Republicans disagreed.
I thought it was a good briefing.
One of the best briefings I've had.
Probably the strongest and most decisive briefing that has ever been conducted.
But not all Republicans were as taken with the classified briefings, which were held by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, and other administration officials. Republican Senator Mike Lee said the briefing was one of the worst he'd ever seen.
I had hoped and expected to receive more information outlining the legal, factual, and moral justification for the attack. I was left somewhat unsatisfied on that front. The briefing lasted only 75 minutes, whereupon our briefers left. This, however, is not the biggest problem I have with the briefing, which I would add was probably the worst briefing I've seen, at least on a military issue, in the 9 years I've served in the United States Senate. What I found so distressing about that briefing was that one of the messages we received from the briefers was, do not debate, do not discuss the issue of the appropriateness of further military intervention against Iran. It is not acceptable for officials within the executive branch of government, I don't care whether they're with the CIA, with the Department of Defense, or otherwise, to come in and tell us that we can't debate and discuss the appropriateness of military intervention against Iran. It's un-American, it's unconstitutional, and it's wrong.
The senator from Utah also said that because he found the briefing demeaning to the U.S. Constitution, he, along with Republican Senator Rand Paul, would vote for a war powers resolution that Democrats have put forward. Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said later on Wednesday that her chamber would vote on a resolution as soon as Thursday that's intended to limit Trump's ability to wage war. The resolution is expected to easily pass the House, but would still face a more difficult time in the Republican-controlled Senate.